Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind. We've got some absolute leftist lunacy to go over today. I guess it's less welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind and more welcome to frickin' Clown World. The saga of biological male athletes competing in female sports continues, and it's like I've been warning, it's like I've been saying, what do you think the end result is going to be here? Of course, there's the element of young girls losing their spaces, losing their protections, and losing their rights, but then there's the arguably even worse element of this whole thing, the horrific increased risk of severe injury. And that's exactly what's happening. I've been warning about it forever. We've covered, I think, maybe 3 or 4 instances thus far, and here's another to add to the list, as a young girl essentially gets her face smashed in during what I think was an NCAA field hockey match. It's absolutely sad and brutal stuff, and it continues to reinforce exactly what we're fighting for here. Let me show you guys what happened, as well as a couple other tangent or adjacent stories. We've got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright friends, so like usual, the first headline pretty much says it all. Female field hockey player suffers, quote, significant injuries after male opponent's shot strikes her in the face. A female field hockey player in Massachusetts suffered significant injuries after a ball struck by a male opponent hit her in the face. The player, whose identity has not been revealed, sustained significant facial and dental injuries, said Bill Rooney, the superintendent of Dighton Rehoboth Regional High School, in a statement obtained by the Sun Chronicle on Friday. The shot was taken by a male member of the Swampscott field hockey team. A senior Swampscott male player, believed to be named Sawyer Gruthis, struck the ball, sending it hurtling into the face of an unnamed athlete, a senior Dighton Rehoboth player, the Chronicle reported. After the play, coaches ran out to the field to give medical attention to the girl, who could be heard screaming in pain in video of the incident posted on social media. So we'll play certain parts of it. Unfortunately, the actual injury portion, I don't know if that was caught on camera, but we're not going to play that. But the aftermath pretty much speaks for itself. I want to stop on this still right over here. You know, these young girls are horrified, obviously. That's, kind of the feeling that I'm getting. The opposing team, as their teammate screams in agony, obviously based on body language, based on what I'm able to pick up, they seem horrified. And I really don't blame them, because pretty much nobody is protecting them. You know, how many more instances of this are we supposed to endure? We covered the facial injury and concussion of a young girl during a volleyball match. I think that was a high school volleyball match, where I basically made the exact same point I'm going to make this time. The differential in strength is far too vast. It's far too big. And the simple reality is that biological males are able to strike or spike the ball at such a faster speed, at such a higher velocity, that eventually in some of these sports, girls are going to get injured. And here we go, it's happening again. A girl's face was smashed in again. It's not just a small little injury, she suffered severe dental injuries, meaning her teeth were probably completely shattered. She's probably going to have to get her teeth replaced now. Does that seem like equality? Does that seem like progression? Or does that just seem like tragic and clearly avoidable and obviously dangerous? Come on, it's obvious. It's so incredibly obvious. And people have to start standing up for these girls. They're horrified. And I know they're horrified because they're essentially telling us. We've covered so many video testimonies where young female athletes make TikTok videos or do interviews where they essentially tell us that it's terrifying for them. And here's the perfect example. Let's continue to cement that point. Here's a TikTok video from a young athlete. She goes by the handle Ansley MMA.
And I wasn't fully expecting to get a match because I was a purple belt at the time and there was no purple belt signed up other than me. But sometimes a blue belt will step up to fight a purple belt. So at this point, I was grateful that I had a match. Until I found out later in this day that I am indeed fighting a biological male. So let's kind of get into my match and my thoughts during it was happening. So I immediately got in the clinch because I always rush in. And as soon as I clinched up, I knew something was different. They felt so strong. I was like, oh my God, this is a very strong old lady. What? So initially, I am in total panic mode. I feel their strength and I'm like, oh, I can't take them down. Better pull guard. And then I work my sweep. I get the sweep and I feel a little more comfortable. And then eventually, you know, like maybe 30, 40 seconds later, I get the tap with the Ezekiel choke. When I originally posted this on TikTok, I received a lot of hate. And this was never about me winning or beating a trans opponent. This was about me giving a voice to other girls like Jaden and Adela who were scared in their matches. And I can't believe people actually think this is okay.
These young girls and these young women are mortified. Again, the headline pretty much says it all, doesn't it? Martial arts competition changes rules after female fighters pull out over safety fears after facing trans grapplers.
It did not take me very long into my match for me to realize that I was not, in fact, competing with a woman. I've been in spots where I've been subbed, and I've never felt unsafe during a match.
Terrified female martial artists say they've pulled out of recent competitions to avoid facing much stronger transgender fighters, forcing a major organization to revise its rules to ensure trans females can now only face men. The North American Grappling Association said that it overhauled its rules after complaints about transgender female athletes fighting in recent events. In one of its jiu-jitsu events in Georgia earlier this month, transgender grappler Carissa Griffith took home 4 gold medals in women's competitions, while another, Cordiella Gregory, placed second. Oh, well, would you look at that? 4 gold medals taken and a silver medal by 2 trans athletes. In other words, those medals were taken away from deserving young female athletes who dedicate their lives to be disciplined in their craft and compete. It's a travesty of justice. The organization, quote, "We are adding additional text to the event and rules page to inform transgender females which division they need to enter. Maintaining fairness for female athletes is our paramount priority," Klopp said, noting that it is even more important given the heightened potential for injury in grappling. "We're adding extra rules in context. Maintaining fairness for female athletes is their paramount priority. Now they say that, after allowing it in the first place. Where is the frickin' common sense is really what I keep asking myself. How is this even a topic for discussion? How is it even a conversation that we are having? There is no debate here. It's not confusing. We don't need extra context. It makes absolutely no sense. It never did, and it never will. It's clear. Listen to the young female student athletes and professional athletes who are telling you point blank that this needs to stop. And those who aren't, well, they're probably too scared to speak up and tell the truth. That's the reality, because the leftist cultists enforce their ideology through intimidation and fear. There is no physical equality between the sexes. There cannot be biological males competing in female sports. It's dumb, it's idiotic, it's wrong, it's unethical, and it must stop. And that's pretty much the video, because that's the argument. I don't need to go into any data. I don't need to say anything other than the obvious. Stop the freaking clown world nonsense. Anyways, that's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.